You check the time on the wall, watching the second hand tick along, moving instinctively to the right. We universally accept this circular motion as the physical direction of time moving forward. But if you open up the back of a timepiece, you just find a network of interlocking metal. Those gears and teeth don't have any physical rule dictating which way they have to turn. A watchmaker can coil a spring to spin those gears to the left just as easily as to the right. Mechanically speaking, there is no wrong direction. So why did humanity collectively agree that this specific rightward path is the correct one? The answer has nothing to do with engineering. Long before anyone was cutting precise metal cogs or winding delicate springs, early civilizations still needed to track the passing hours of the day. Without pocket watches or digital screens, they relied on the most consistent presence in their environment, the sun. To figure out why our mechanical hands spin the way they do, we must stop looking at our wrists and look up at the sky. It turns out the tiny, synchronized movements sweeping across millions of clock faces are directly tied to the massive rotation of our planet. Thousands of years ago, humans invented the sundial. By placing a stick on a flat surface, they created a standardized way to read time. This map shows the Eastern Hemisphere and highlights a critical geographic constraint. The vast majority of the early civilizations that built these timekeeping tools were located in the Northern Hemisphere. From that northern vantage point, when observers watched the sky, the sun reliably rose in the east, peaked to the south, and set in the west. But a sundial doesn't actually track the glowing orb in the sky. It functions entirely by tracking the shadow that the pillar casts on the ground. As the sun travels its arc from east to west, the shadow is projected in the exact opposite direction. It starts on the left side of the dial in the morning and sweeps across to the right by evening. For centuries, watching that shadow slide left to right was the only way anyone interacted with time. It became the natural rhythm of a moving day. Fast forward to Europe during the Middle Ages, when engineers began installing the very first mechanical clocks in town squares. These inventors faced a major design challenge. They were rolling out a complex new machine to a public that was completely used to reading sundials. To make this strange new technology intuitive, they decided the moving hands on their clock faces needed to perfectly mimic the old familiar shadow. So they specifically engineered the gears and springs inside to push the clock hands in that exact same left-to-right trajectory. What we now call clockwise is really just a mechanical simulation of how a shadow falls across dirt in the northern half of the world. This map shows the continent of Australia. It helps us visualize a scenario. What if mechanical clocks had been invented and standardized here, or in South America, down in the Southern Hemisphere? From a southern perspective, the sun tracks across the northern part of the sky. Because the light hits the pillar from the opposite angle, the resulting shadow moves right to left. If early engineers had been copying that right-to-left shadow, every gear and spring in our timepieces would have been built to run what we now consider backwards. We would all wear watches that tick to the left, read wall clocks that count down to the left, and it would feel completely normal. The gears inside a watch don't care which way they turn. The strict rule of time moving to the right is just a geographic ghost, hardwired into our machines by the specific location of the people who built them first.